All right, we're going to talk about how to find the inverse of the following functions. Specifically, we're talking about how to find the inverses of exponentials and logs. Exponentials and logs. First, let's talk about this one over here. Now, this is the exponential function. How do I know it's exponential? Because the base is e and you have a variable in the exponent. That's how we know it's exponential. So, in order to find this inverse, the first thing is we need to switch the x and y values, the x and y's in the equation. So we need to switch x and y's. And then we're going to solve, the second thing is we're going to solve for y. Okay, so let's do that. This right here is going to be y. So we're going to switch those. So we have x equals negative e to the 4 minus y plus 6. Now this is an exponential graph, so it is 1 to 1, so we can do this. This is legal. From here, we're now going to solve for y. So the first thing is we notice that y is in the exponent. So before we can get y by itself, we first have to get y in this exponential by itself. So we're going to first, I'm going to do a little algebra. That means algebra in Spanish. We're going to subtract 6 to the other side. So we have negative e to the 4, all right, minus y. From here, we're going to divide by negative. So we have negative x plus 6 then. Make sure you distribute that through all the way through. And e to the 4 minus y. My y's and 4's look the same, so I apologize if they do. Now, from here, we now need to solve for y. In order to solve for an exponent, we need to log it. All right, we need to use a logarithm, the inverse operation. So I always say we need to log it good. All right, we're going to use natural log. The natural log, what will allow us to do is we'll have natural log of negative x plus 6, and that's going to equal 4 minus y. From here, we're going to finish up our algebra steps. So now we have the natural log, which is the inverse of the exponential. And we're going to now subtract 4. That equals negative y. And then we're going to divide by the negative. So we have this negative natural log of negative x plus 6 plus 4. And that, my friends, is our inverse of f, which should be a logarithm. So if you have a exponential, the inverse is a log. Boom. Well, let's try this one over here. Let's say we have a logarithm. How do you find inverse? Well, let's just do a couple of rules. We want to switch x and y. So we have x is going to equal negative log base 5 of y minus 2 plus 1. From here, we are now going to solve for y. So in order to do that, we have to get the log by itself first. So we have to get x, so we subtract 1, and equals negative log base 5. I know probably a lot of you probably can do a lot of this algebra in your head or skip some steps, but I'm going to just write this step by step for everybody to see. And we're now going to divide by the negative. All right, so we have negative x plus 1 equals log base 5 of y minus 2. Now from here, we're going to solve for this log. Now to solve a log, you got to do the inverse operation, which is create an exponent, exponentiate it. Now our base here is 5, so we're going to take each side and make it the power of 5. So what we have then is 5 to the negative x plus 1 power. These will now cancel out because they're inverses of each other, and we get the value inside. And now from here, we're just simply going to add 2. So we have 5 negative x plus 1 plus 2, and that equals y, or in this case, it's going to be the inverse of g. Bada bing, bada la boom. And that is what we get. So, how do we do this? Well, first off, in order to find any inverse, you need to switch x and y's, the problem. We now need to solve for y. When you're given an exponent, make sure that you get the exponential by itself, and then create a logarithm. You need to log it good. For a logarithm, you have to do the inverse operation. So we switch x and y's, get the log by itself, but then we need to exponentiate it. All right, create each side is going to be a base, and we're going to solve it like that. Well, I hope this helps you out on how to find the inverses of exponential and logs. Um, they're rather kind of easy at times, but it can get more complex. But they all abide by the same kind of principles. So I hope this helps you out. Good luck and God bless in the rest of your problems.